My trip to the Shattering started with me, Wayne, and Carly arriving at the American border seeking entry to their country. The border guard asked us to declare our citizenship. Wayne said he was Canadian. I said I was Canadian. And then the border guard asked Carly, citizenship? And Carly said, Carly! To which we all busted a gut laughing. And then the border guard, realizing that Carly has special needs, just waved us on into the country. We headed through New York into Pennsylvania and ended up stopping on the Blue Star Highway, taking in some of the sights at a nearby rest stop. And then I learned something horrific. America has something called toll roads, where you literally pay just to drive down the street. You literally have to pay to drive down a street. What madness is this? I thought America was supposed to be the land of the free, not the land of the free to pay to drive down the fucking street. We arrived in the beautiful West Virginia, which caused me to immediately break out in song.
West Virginia.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama, touch my balls.
West Virginia was honestly beautiful. The terrain was fantastic. I quite enjoyed our drive through it. Carly was excited to get to see mountains, but ultimately ended up very disappointed because she wanted to see mountains that looked like Mount Everest, where you have the triangular peak that's capped with snow. Instead, West Virginia has these giant mountains that are more rounded and covered in trees, which Carly disdainfully regarded as shitty hills. Unbeknownst to me, Carly was creeping around candidly catching me in the morning.
Yeah.
Taping. A dinosaur.
Yes, Grandpa, I'm taping you. Taping you. Oh, the sun is so bad there. There we go. Do it again. Yeah.
We headed through Virginia and then on into North Carolina. Ultimately, we reached South Carolina, where you can see me being quite handsome. We made it to our hotel, the Marriott in Columbia, South Carolina, and it was a very nice room, which is great because we were there for an entire 5 days. The Wonders people were kind enough to get us an accessible room that was accommodating for Carly's disability. After we got settled into the hotel, we were able to meet up with a good portion of the Wonders of the first team. And we had an absolutely delightful dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, where we all got along famously. I had a fantastic time hanging out with these guys. But it wasn't just dinner we ate in America. We also went out and had breakfast, just on our own. But the choices that were made at breakfast were questionable. Wayne got this insane America waffle setup where you can literally see it just covered in icing with this freedom flag waving free. I don't even know how you go about eating this for breakfast, but did get to try something I've always been curious about. Grits, which actually turned out to be very similar to cream of wheat, and I enjoyed them quite a bit. But not as much as I enjoyed what Carly thought grits were, which was basically burnt bits that they scraped off of the grill and served you as part of your breakfast. Carly also tried this madness right here. Biscuits and gravy. Look at this disgusting mess. Now, old man Hatcher was tired, so he needed to go and have a nap. But Carly, she went and had herself a time at the zoo. Enjoy some footage of Carly at the zoo. Honestly, she belongs in a zoo.
Okay, let's do this. We're doing it. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it.
The day before the Shattering was going to take place, we met up with the Wonders team, and I met Jeff, the guy who owns the company, who's a fantastic dude who actually hunts homeless people in his spare time. We had a fantastic meal. Then I got to try playing Wonders of the First for the first time, and I quite enjoyed it. This was all leading up to Friday, the beginning of the main events, and I came prepared. I brought a box of Canadian treats so that my American friends could see what good food actually tasted like. Most of the American treats that I tried were very questionable. We have better stuff in Canada, so I brought the thunder with me. The events on Friday started with a meet and greet where you could meet the Wonders of the First team. There was an all-you-could-eat pizza buffet, an open bar with all the drinks that you could consume, and just an overall convivial environment. After that was the breaking games. This was the first opportunity that anybody had to crack Wonders of the First boosters, and there were a ton of people cracking packs and having a good time. Basically playing a booster opening game where if you managed to crack an OCM special edition card, then you won the round. Both Wayne and Carly won. I lost. But either way, we all ended up with a bunch of cards that we could play with. The first opportunity to actually play Wonders came on Saturday with an early in the day limited tournament where you had 6 booster packs and you built your deck from scratch. Aside from a few hiccups, that event went well and everybody seemed to have a really good time. On Saturday morning, while I was playing in that limited event, Carly was actually out experiencing the culture of the city. She hit up the Soda City Market and was entranced by people who had dressed their dogs up in goofy outfits. That led up to the main event, the first Shattering. This was when all the Kickstarter backers were finally going to get all of their product. And before we even got into the box crackings, there was an impressive spread of food to enjoy. Everybody got their boxes and started tearing into them, and there was a bunch of excitement. The air in the room was electric. I've been to a lot of different card events. For this one, the hype was off the charts. Everybody was having a fantastic time. I was running around making a bunch of friends. The main event of the Shattering didn't just have everybody finally getting their hands on their product. It also included speeches by a number of different individuals associated with the team.
In the world of Wonders of the First, for those who may not know, we've done something really unique from an IP perspective, the intellectual property of the game. We have obviously the intellectual property that we build onto the game, but we have also random out character proofs, art proofs of essentially every Wonder, a few exceptions, but for pretty much every Wonder, every item, every spell, they're all out as one-of-one digital assets that someone can own. And when you own it, you get certain IP rights to do things that you may want to do. What 99% of people are going to do is just own them as a very unique collectible, and it does because you have those rights. They do create an incredible pride in ownership. And when you hear people say, "That's my Wonder," that's what they're talking about.
And it also had some incredible fan art created by very dedicated fans of the game.
Oh, that is made out of individual little dots that you have to put on that thing. It is utterly insane. Wow. It is one of the coolest things.
There was a draw where they were giving away posters, and Carly actually won the ultra rare poster. There was an alternate art, one-of-one poster, and everyone went wild when she won it. But she had no idea what was going on, so she had to ask me after she got the poster, "Why is everybody yelling? We got these awesome Shattering t-shirts, and I hid behind the curtain that you can see right there to change into it, not realizing that those are giant glass windows, so a couple of ladies walking by got a big view of my big belly. But the fun part is when I leapt out from behind the curtains, catching Capricorn talking smack about me, and his eyes bulged out of his head. What were you doing there? How did you get there? That was a fantastic moment. On Sunday, there was the first ever constructed event, and me, Wayne, and Carly all played in it. Carly spent hours on Saturday evening getting her deck ready for this, and ultimately, she ended up totally winning our game, and I did not let her win. Wink!
I won, guys. I beat him. I won. I did it.
You did it.
Yeah, look at this board. I just barely pulled it off. Barnabas
You did
for
it.
the win. Yeah.
Carly was also obsessed with this dog to the point where I thought the owner was going to need to get a restraining order against her. On Sunday evening, we went out and celebrated the successful launch of Wonders of the First at a Brazilian steakhouse. I had never been to one of these places, and having the servers come out with gigantic chunks of meat on skewers and then just carving it off onto your plate was absolutely amazing. And I'm a huge fan of unlimited meat. I also just want to throw it in here right now. This dude, Christian, who worked at the Marriott, was awesome. I actually went and hung out with him a bunch during this trip because he was a really chill dude to talk to, and he knew a lot about the city. On the way back, we stayed at a Hampton Inn. The room was all right, but the real treasure was the fact that it had a breakfast with unlimited bacon. And like I said, unlimited meat, that's a treat. I ate 19 strips of bacon. I was almost as filled with regret as I was with bacon meat. Now, we did make one terrible, crucial error during this trip, and that was eating at an Arby's. You see, in Canada, Arby's is a fine restaurant. There's nothing really wrong with it. I enjoy it. But whenever I would bring it up in live streams, Americans would always go, "Oh, you eat at Arby's? What is wrong with you?" And I always thought that was a huge overreaction until I ate at a truck stop Arby's in the US of A. I didn't realize that their sandwiches aren't made with meat. They're made out of compressed depression, basically formed into a greasy, wet, floppy mess. And it is, without a doubt, the worst fast food I have ever eaten in my life. It basically made me give up my will to live. Overall, out of every state that we visited, West Virginia was the most beautiful. But nothing was as beautiful as getting back to Canada. Unfortunately, as soon as we arrived at the Canadian border, it instantly started to snow, making me long for the nice temperate weather that they had back in Columbia, South Carolina. On the whole, I had a fantastic time on this trip, and I'm very much looking forward to the next Shattering that's supposed to happen in October of this year, where I will get to be a special guest hosting my own dinner with Brian Tinsman. Thanks for vlogging with me. Now get the hell out of here.